Okay, so as we know, we have this problem where right when we shut down a container, essentially all the work we did in that container is lost. And we're just going to restart back over with what we downloaded with our image and boot up a new container. And this can be problematic because, well, we might have really liked that work that we performed in the container. So let's see how we can work around with this in a different image. This time we're going to be working with the Jupyter SciPy notebook image. And to download this, I'll do docker pull. And this will allow me, what this image is about is essentially Jupyter is, well, it's what I've been writing my notes in. It's an interactive environment that data scientists use. And this SciPy notebook image in particular, in addition to Jupyter, also downloads pretty good data science tools that you could interact with. You can see it was pretty fast because I already have it on my computer. I can confirm that by doing docker image ls, and you can see that there it is. Now, if I want to boot this up, one way to see how you can boot it up is if you just go to the place that you downloaded it, SciPy notebook. Well, then you can see here is the GitHub for it and also more documentation. Lots of times I'll just go to the GitHub and scroll down, and there you can see quick start, and this looks pretty good. All right, so this follows a pattern that we know, right? Docker run -p, followed by the name of the image. And we also know, for me, I like to change this. I think my host port 8888 is already in use, so I'm going to change this to 8999. And this will boot up a new container of this image, and it will essentially allow me to access Jupyter that has all those fun libraries installed. One issue is that instead of going to 8888, as you know, we should be going to 8999. All right, so I'm going to go to 8999. And you can see it takes me into this work directory. I can click on here and now create a new file, and maybe, here's some fun work I want to work on. Let's call this index, and then, here's my great work. So once you perform this work, as we know, the second I shut down this container, this will be lost, right? Because this layer is going to go away. But there is a way to get around this. So the way to get around this is essentially to say, hey, tell Docker anything performed in this work folder. So we can see, if I type in pwd, you can see that I'm inside the /home/jovian/work. If you want to figure this out in general, say, in any kind of container that you're booting up, see where, we're located. Well, I can do docker container ls, and then exec into this container, docker container exec -it, the name of the container /sh, right? So now I'm connecting to the shell and staying there. And from here, I can just say, okay, where am I located? /home/jovian. All right, let's do ls. We can see there's the work, up cd work. The reason why this isn't so pretty is because I did sh. I should have run, which is for shell, I should have run bash, and it would have, it's just a little bit smoother. And there's that file that I created, right? So here's what we want to say. We want to say, take this present working directory where take the folder where index.ipymb is located, and any work performed in this folder, I want instead to go to read and be written to my host computer. So let's go back to our favorite diagram down here. Right now, we are inside the guest, right? We're inside the container, okay? We're specifically, I guess, navigated to this folder. And this is the folder where we are building and writing our Jupyter notebooks. If we want this work to be saved, what we can say is to Docker, any work performed inside this folder where I'm creating my Jupyter notebooks, I instead don't want to be directly actually in the container, but rather have it live on the host computer. In this way, when the container dies, I'll still have those files, and when you boot up a new container, we will read them from the host computer and put them inside this folder. So let's see if we can do that. So first of all, I guess we'll exit out from here. We'll make sure any containers we're running are gone. So do docker container ls, and then we'll stop this guy. All right, this is what we want to do. Do docker image ls. I always like listing my images and copying. And now this time, I'm going to run this guy again. So do 8999 to 8888, right? Connect the host port to the guest port, the name of the image, but this time we'll go for another flag. All right, so this time I'm going to say, hey, this is -v. I'm going to say anything written in a specific file on the container, I want to actually be reading from a place on my computer. Okay, so what we can do is let's make a new directory. Let's call it So what we can do is let's make a new directory where we can put these Jupyter notebooks on the host computer and then have them be read into the container. So we'll make a new directory. We'll just call it Jupyter Notebooks. All right, and then I'm going to cd into that directory. So you can see I'm inside this Jupyter Notebooks directory. And we can also confirm that by typing in pwd, which shows me the present working directory. So now what I'll do is do docker image ls. So there's my Jupyter SciPy notebook. I'll do docker container ls. See, make sure that there are no containers currently running. If there were, I would just stop it. And now I'll do docker run I want to do docker run -p, right? Map the ports 8999. This is the host port to the container port 8888. And this is the name of the image is Jupyter SciPy notebook. So let's copy that. And now we're going to add another flag. And this is, our bind mounting. So this, we use the -v flag. And I say, hey, I want to map the present working directory to /home/work/jovian/work. That's the folder that essentially Jupyter, this image was specifying all the Jupyter notebooks are going to live. So I'm saying any notebooks that live here, put them in this folder, and anything in this folder that you write, put in the present working directory, which is this Jupyter Notebooks folder. All right, so we do docker run command, we do our two flags, we finish up with the name of the image. And let's see if I did this correctly. All right, so far so good. Now we'll copy this, and we just need to change the port to 8999. So we'll go to 8999. And now I go to work, and there's nothing inside here, but let's create a new notebook. And we'll call this index.ipynb, and we'll do hello world. And now let's take a look. Let's see, what we said happened is that any work that we did in this container under that folder, and that folder was supposed to be /home/jovian/work, and that's what we specified here, should instead go to our present working directory, which is Jupyter Notebooks. So let's take a look. If I go to this Jupyter Notebooks, see that? There's the index.ipynb file. Even though I'm in the container, it's actually being written to the present working directory. Let's just see this again. If I create a new file, again, I'm inside the container, and I call this hello world, and I save it, and now I'm going to go to the host, right? And right now I'm on my host computer. I type in ls again. There's that new file. So this is really cool because any of the work that I perform while the container is running, when I eventually shut down the container and the container is getting destroyed, Well, I'm okay with that because all the work that I did isn't really stored inside the container. It's actually stored on the host machine. So let's now, I guess that we're confident in that, let's shut that down. So we'll shut down our container. We'll do docker container ls, just confirm that it's shut down. And now we'll boot up a new container by running that same command, right? Docker run -p, mount the present working directory, which is my Jupyter Notebooks directory. And that guy has still my 2 files there. Mount that into the /home/jovian/work folder. And then run that image. So now this time when I run this image, and now I want to go to this thing, but replace the port. Oopsies. Let's do this, but replace the port, 8999. And click on this folder. There's still my files, right? So that's pretty valuable. The fact that, I can specify what I, kind of use this fresh image, but specify what I want to save. How do you know, what you want to save? Well, and which directory you want to save? Well, sometimes it does involve a bit of work. You can, as we saw before, you can do docker container ls and then sh, right, connect to that particular container, right? You can do docker container exec -it, the name of the container, bash, and then you can kind of dig around from here and be like, okay, this seems like is where the work I want to save lives. And so the next time I run this, I want to say, okay, anything in that folder, let's map to a different directory on the host machine. All right, so we'll see one more mechanism for saving our work in the next lesson.